We're the hub for motorsports. If you love racing, this is the place to be. Collier goes into turn one. Foxy wall rides!
He chastained it! He's still... Welcome back, everybody, to another fantastic broadcast here on the Dega Boys Racing Network. We got a little bit of a late start today, but no problem. We're going to go through our normals right before we go into this qualifying that's going on right now. But first off, Jay, how you doing?
Oh man, we're back for another one of these awesome races. Motegi Roads this week. We had Oval last week. Now we're going to go to hit the road course here around Twin Ring. I'm excited. Best iRace in the business. IndyCar racing at its finest.
Absolutely, it is. We've got well, let's pull up our race info for tonight, give you guys a little bit of look at what's going on here, and show you guys what we have. Motegi Grand Prix. It is actually race 4, I believe. Is that right, Jay? 4?
Yes, race 4.
All right. Sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. Let me fix that real quick. Okay, race 4 of 14. A track length of 2.95 miles. Right now, track temp of 104 and an altitude of 511 feet. 71-degree ambient, 34% humidity, partly cloudy skies, and a 3-mile-an-hour wind. This is not the Nexus Sports Car Challenge. I apologize for that. But 50 laps around the beautiful Motegi road course. Pace car speed of 40 mile an hour. Pit speed of 37. And everybody gets one quick repair tonight. So, with that being said, we'll go right back into our qualifying session to show you guys who is on top of the board right now. Let me load up the correct overlay. Sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. All right, here we go. Now with everybody out and running right now, got multiple people out. Steven Ritter's right now on top of the board. Nicholas Pressey coming through some of the final corners as we speak, as he is looking to get that number 94 up on top of the board. Richard Swindell now coming around the final corners to come across start finish line. Let's see if he can improve from that P4 position.
Yes, Swindell, here he is. Had a great qualifying run last week at Motegi Oval, and I continue that momentum here at the road course here at Motegi. Still currently sitting right with the P4 position here in qualifying. 9 guys currently taking time.
All right, we got Cameron Capone now coming through the final corners. As he comes off the final corner, currently P5 with the 134.26 coming across the line here. Let's see if he can improve on that lap time. As he goes across the start-finish line, he does not improve. He stays in that P7 position. As now we got Drew Hopkins coming through the final corners.
Here's Drew Hopkins in the 15 IndyCar. He's going to get a good run here off of turn 14. Carries momentum here across the line. Let's see what kind of lap time he puts down here. And challenge for maybe the pole. He does not improve from his P3 position.
Last week's winner, Takeshi Kita, now coming down the front straightaway, starting his qualifying run. At 64 put on a phenomenal performance last week. Let's see if he can do it again here tonight with the Nexus Grand Prix Championships here at Motegi Road.
Takeshi Kita, what a fantastic race that was. Holy cow. That would be an unbelievable race that he put together on the oval. Let's see if he could do it here once again. He's really proven to be one of the favorites here in this series throughout this season. It seems like every week he's up here putting down great lap times, moving through the field, and then getting a great finish at the end as he continues on here on his lap time. Let's see if he can put a lap time to compete with Steven Ritter's there for the pole.
All right. Just over halfway done with his lap here, as he is coming through the very technical section of Motegi Road. We'll pull up the track map right now and try to see where he's at. He hasn't put up a lap time yet, so he's not going to register within the session so far. But as you can see, he is on the back half of this road course, ready to put down a lap here. And see if he can have another great performance like what he did last week. Oh, qualifying's over. Steven Ritter's on pole tonight for the Motegi Road. Let's go ahead and see if we can grab Steven. Steven's not in the Discord.
We bring in old Jeff Wubker.
Yes,
See what
I
he's
was
thinking
just
here
looking for that.
going in tonight.
Yeah, buddy. Jeff Wubker, this is Thomas and Jay in the booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, am I coming in?
Yeah. How are you? You had a great qualifying run right there. Tell us a little bit about it. Are you excited for the race tonight?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I was a little surprised the Ritters got me there because in practice I had him by a few tenths in practice, but he obviously didn't have his qualifying set in. I didn't either in practice, but yeah, he's quick.
You got any concerns running around Steven tonight in trying to get that checkered flag here with the Nexus Grand Prix Championships?
The first few laps, I'm just going to try to keep it on the track, and if I see I gotta, I can keep pace with him, and I feel I got a chance at him, I'll make a run at it. But I gotta let things play out because we haven't raced each other a whole lot, so I gotta kind of see what we got for competition, I guess.
Well, absolutely. A great run in your qualifying to get yourself up front there tonight for the start of this race. Congratulations on that. I'm going to hand you off to Jay here. Jay, you got any questions for Jeff?
Yes, Jeff. Fantastic job here in qualifying. We're excited to get this race going to see you guys battle it out here at Motegi Road. But maybe without giving away too much, what kind of strategy are you looking at here tonight to get towards the end of this race with the optimum strategy?
Well, I'm assuming Ritters will have the inside. It's pretty tough to pass on the outside on that first turn, so chances are I'll have to probably come out second behind him. Hopefully not third, or hopefully there's no incidents. Being up front shouldn't have many problems there. And I'm gonna see what he's got, and it's a tough track. It's really easy to lose grip here in some of the left-hand turns. You'll probably see a few guys on those 90-degree lefts get loose. Yeah, so that's what I'm pretty much gonna do. I'm gonna let things play out, see what happens, and start with the reds. I don't know what Steven is on, but I'm assuming the same. And then I'll go to the black tires, and then back to the reds. And sorry for the small turnout. I guess we're gonna get some more guys out soon.
Well, awesome.
No, yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, well, good luck here tonight, Jeff. We'll be pulling for you, and we're excited to see the great content you're going to put on track here tonight. Hopefully at the end of the night, we're talking to you again here in the booth.
All right, guys. Thanks for everything again. Hopefully you'll have some entertainment here tonight.
Oh, yeah, baby.
Oh,
Always. Always, always. Thanks again, Jeff, and good luck in your race.
I appreciate it, guys. Take care.
All right, that was Jeff Webker in the number 92. He had a great run last week, too, at Motegi Oval. Getting just beat out there by Takeshi at the end. But nonetheless, one of the dominant cars on that oval section. Let's see what he could do here tonight on the road course.
Yeah, he's had some really good runs this season. I mean, he had kind of a sleeper run there at the opener there at Sebring. Maybe he didn't get the result I think he probably should have had, or maybe what he ran. And then he went to Phillip Island and really made a late race charge there. He even mentioned it last week in his post-race interview at Motegi. He made a little bit of a mistake there at Phillip Island. He was a little disappointed himself. He had a little chip on his shoulder last week at Motegi. Got it done there at Motegi with a great run. And then here we are at Motegi Road, which, honestly, Tom, I think we're on race 5 now that I think about it. We ran Auto Club, Sebring, Motegi Oval, and we also ran
Oh, yeah,
Phillip
Phillip
Island.
Island.
So,
yeah, you're right.
This season just flying by here, Tom. Holy
Already.
cow, we're already in race 5. Unbelievable.
Ready. All right, well, we've got just a couple more. Actually, we've got just about 30 seconds left in warm-up as these guys continue to run around the track here and try to put a lap time in or try to make some small adjustments to their vehicles, as it looks like Takeshi Kita here coming off of turn 1 and 2. And here's Drew Hopkins coming under attack a little bit by Cameron Capone as they come through the S's on the back half of this race course. A great road course here. Very technical in some of the sections. As you can see, Cameron Capone have a little bit of issues there. Does save it, does not get into the wall, but those little S's that they have on the back half of the track, very technical, very fast, and definitely going to be a place to see if maybe, just maybe, you can get a pass done there tonight. But with that being said, we are now ready to grid up for this Motegi race. We're on pool tonight. Steven Ritters in the 99 with Jeff Wubker in the 92, starting P2 on the outside of him.
Starting P3 in that number 15, that's Drew Hopkins with Richard Swindell in the number 62, starting there in P4.
Cameron Capone in the number 7, starting P5 tonight with Nicholas Pressey on the outside of him in the number 94.
Starting P7, that's SK Steven Doughton in the number 09 with Bad Brad Haldane in the number 39, starting there in P8.
Corey Kobe in the 86, starting P9 with your last week's winner, Takeshi Kita, the 64, starting P10.
Yeah, and started P11. There is the number 93 of Javon Thompson, your Auto Club winner here. Rounding out your starting grid here tonight in the Motegi Grand Prix.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, a standing start here tonight as we will watch the lights go out and these guys go all in turn 1. Steven Ritters on pole. On the outside of him, Jeff Webker. That's making up your front row, as these guys are still getting ready here to take to the grid. Drew Hopkins, Richard Swindell calling to the grid, as we've got just a little bit more time here to go until they are required to take the grid. Richard Swindell takes his seat. Drew Hopkins, last one there. All right, everybody is on the grid, ready to go here for 50 laps at Motegi Road Course as the lights will slowly turn on, and we will get this thing started. All right, lights are on. Drivers are getting ready here. Oh, Steven Ritter's jumped. Oh, Jeff Wubker jumped. Both of the front two cars have jumped the start. Drew Hopkins going out. Nicholas Pressey. Huge start to this race as we got wrecking in the back. Brad Haldane having a big wreck back there, and we got a caution.
Yeah, that was a definitely disorganized restart. I saw Swindell go around. Brad Haldane makes contact. Both your front runners jumped the restart here. Oh, man. Definitely not the type of start they were hoping for here at Motegi Road. That's going to change the world here. Lots of contact and damage there to Brad Haldane as well.
Let's go back and see what happened. Looks like maybe Richard Swindell having a little bit of issues here. Got a jump out of P2 right there, as you can see. Everybody getting hard on the gas here, and it looks like the 62 just gave it a little bit too much beans there. Cameron Capone around. Brad Haldane having nowhere to go on that race start, and the rest is history.
Yeah, it looked like Corey Kobe in the 86 did a great job snaking through there as well. He started towards the back of that field, and he ends up making it through there pretty fine. Missing wing here on Haldane. He's going to have to come down and address that damage. Swindell maybe didn't get a whole lot of damage. He got a little bit of slight contact with the wall there.
Yeah, it looks like he's got a little bit of right floor damage there on that number 62 machine as they come through the final corners here. And we will get them all bunched back up and go green flag racing here.
Yes, interesting restart. I like what I was going to say before we went green, though. Those left-hand 90-degree turns, that would be like turn 2 and turn 9 here on this circuit. That's what Jeff was worried about here, especially at the beginning. That's going to be tough to navigate through those corners. We'll see how that progresses here at this first lap. I believe we're going to run one more pace lap here before we go green again here, Tom.
There's the pace car. Everybody catching the pace car now off of turn 2. And, yeah, we'll get these guys racked back up here and go back green flag racing.
Yes, catching the pace car, we do have, I believe, Swindell on the pit lane. Brad did not come down the pit lane with that missing wing. Not sure if he knows the damage that he has on that number 39 machine, but he's going to continue on here in the back of the pack with the right front wing missing here. See how that progresses.
Yep, absolutely. Now, Richard Swindell coming out of pit road. Maybe getting some of that floor damage fixed there. We'll see here. It does. It does look like it is fixed. So he'll come back out on track with a clean car, maybe taking that quick repair. As Takeshi Kita now back up to P4, made up 6 positions in that whole exchange. That's a lot. That's a lot for an early part of this race.
I think that's just his MO. I mean, we've seen this all season long from Takeshi Kita. We saw him Motegi qualify, or the oval. He qualified towards the back of the pack. And by the halfway through the race, he's already battled for the lead. It's just, holy cow, he's such a great race car driver, taking advantage of a lot of these other guys' mistakes. We saw the same thing as well, I believe, at Phillip Island with Travis Smith, I believe, went through the most of the field. So
yes, definitely
could take advantage of some of these situations here. And we're going to get another one of these restarts, single file, and see what these boys can do here on this initial, or the second attempt at a restart here.
All right, well, let's go through the field right now. Steven Ritter's, Jeff Webker still up front there. They are going to have a little bit of a penalty for jumping the start. They'll have to serve that under green flag conditions. Drew Hopkins back here in P3. So you can see, oh, there they go. That's the penalty. Jeff Webker and Steven Ritter's will probably just have to go to the back here as everybody goes around them.
Yeah, some short track rules. You jump the restart, you go to the back, boys. Yep. So this could be fun to watch these fast race cars make their way back to the field.
Brad Haldane still missing that front wing bit as Richard Swindell goes around him. I really wanted to see who has the primaries and who has the alternates, and it looks like the first primary here is Nicholas Pressey in P3, so a great position so far for him. Stephen Doughton has the alternates. Javon Thompson, he has primaries. Corey Kobe has primaries. Cameron Capone has alternates. Brad Haldane missing a little bit of a wing there, but he does have primaries. Richard Swindle with alternates. Steven Ritters, Jeff Webker with alternates. It's going to be interesting to see what they can do to cut up the field here to get to the front. As they come down the front straightaway one more time. Lights are still on the pace car. We're going to go at least 2 more times around. And we'll get this thing back under green.
Yes. This is going to be interesting, especially with Javon Thompson qualifying in the back of the field on the primary tires. He's going to be in a P5 position, and then he pits. Oh, man, I don't know. I don't know. I was going to say, like, he's sitting in a really good position here on the primary tires with the track position now. Really kind of making up for the qualifying. Brad Haldane's going to come down and assess the wing damage. So that's going to shake up the lineup again. I think that's exactly what Ritters and Webker wanted. The more cars they can pass here under yellow, the better advantage they have as this race progresses. As we're already starting lap 3. I believe that maybe the lights be off on the pace car this time. I'm a little optimist thinking here, Tom. I believe we're going to get this thing rolling here next time by. And they are not off on the pace car. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe a little bit of an issue here with the race control. Not exactly sure.
Yeah,
So
don't
we're still pacing around.
really know. Sometimes these cautions under road courses can be really long. And being a 3-mile track like what Motegi is, it's may just have a little bit of pace laps that they do before they go back green flag racing. But we'll see here as they go into turn 3. Now with
Yes.
Drew Hopkins leading the field.
Yes. We got Takeshi Kita, I believe, in the chat. It says, go Swindell. Maybe pulling for one of his competitors. I like that. I like the sportsmanship there. Yeah, Takeshi, he's such a cool dude, man. We had that privilege of that interview there with him last week with his Motegi win. Man, he was just jacked up, man. It was cool. Yeah, they could just tell, feel the energy from that win. He was super excited to get that job done. Here he is in a P2 position. He started, what, P9 on this grid tonight, Tom? P10? Here he is already in P2, and we haven't even ran a green flag lap yet. I mean, that's just, what a story that is. We're going to have to keep track of that and see how that progresses. Also, keep your eyes on Nicholas Pressey, who ran last night in the Sports Car Challenge. Had a little bit of issues, some of those off tracks there in the LMP2 class, but still had a good result at the end of the day. Definitely a guy to watch out for on these road races. A great race car driver here in the Grand Prix Championship. Stephen Doughton now up here in the P4 position. Holy cow. Great job by him so far as well. I'm excited to get this thing going. It looks like the lights are out on the pace vehicles. We go through the S section, 7, 8, 9 now. Getting ready to go green flag racing here around Motegi Road.
Yes, lights are off on the pace car. We are going to be going green flag racing this time by. Drew Hopkins going to be leading the field here. Takeshi Kita, your last week's winner, right behind him. Nicholas Pressey, P3. Stephen Doughton, P4. Corey Kobe, P5 at the moment. We're going to be watching some great battling back here between Steven Ritters and Jeff Webker as they went to the back of the pack for jumping the start there. As Drew Hopkins now comes down the final straightaway going into the final corner here. And we will watch that 15 restart the race.
Yeah, it's interesting. Ritters and Webker end up still staying at the back of the pack, even with those pit stops that we saw from Swindell, Haldane, and Thompson. So we will see as we're heading through turn 10 now. Heading down this is the longest straightaway of the course right here. Off of turn 10 to turn 11. And then you get into one of those right hand 90 degrees in turn 11. This is just going to be a fun course all night long. A lot of technical corners, like you said at the beginning, Tom, with the S section. That's going to be fun to watch all night long, how those guys can navigate through there. And I believe the strategies are open. It looks like Javon, he stayed on the primary. So that's interesting as well. Pitted on the primary, stayed on the primary. Maybe just topping off with some fuel.
Absolutely. That could mean a lot, too, at the end of the day with a little bit of strategy. for Javon as they're now coming into the final corners. We will watch the 15 of Drew Hopkins take this green flag and start this race. So now we're going to watch this pace car come off of the racing surface as he slows down the pace just a little bit here. Pace car off the racing surface and into the final corner. Here comes Drew Hopkins to take the green flag, and it flies. He gets a great jump on the field here. Takeshi Kita now tracking right behind him as they're going down into turn 1. Here comes Kita on the inside. Not going to be able to make anything happen there, but in turn 2, he makes a little bit of a resurgence. Not going to happen, though. Still stuck behind Drew Hopkins.
Yeah, here we are down here into turn 2. This hard left-hand turn. This is going to be a great passing opportunity. It looks like Takeshi Kita's not going to be close enough here to put a challenge here as we exit turn 3, heading down this little bit of straightaway here before we get into turn 4. Oh, sideways! That's Corey Kobe. He's going to hang on to that baby. Oh, he's going to keep her rolling as you see Wubker. Look at Ritters. Ritters all the way up to P5 already. What a great start here to this initial second restart of the race.
P5 for Ritters as he is chasing down Javon Thompson now coming through coming into this really technical S section. As you can see him tracking right behind the 93. He's going to try to make a move here, possibly coming into these final corners to try and get a little bit of a run down these straightaways, get a little bit of a draft here. Javon goes wide. Here comes Ritters up into P5. P4.
Yeah, big mistake there by Javon. It's going to move him down to P6 as if Swindell also follows through here. That's a perfect person to be following through this race course as he continues to carve through these boys. That's Ritter. Swindell stick right with him here and might be in a good position as now we're all fanning out down this long back straightaway as we might have a battle here between Capone and Haldane. No, it's Kobe, excuse me. Here it is, side by side. Here comes Capone to the inside. He makes the move for P7.
Capone, he's got a right side pod damage. Look at that thing. It's just hanging off of it. He's still driving. He made the pass and he continues on. Javon in the grass. Here he comes back out on track. He had a little bit of troubles off the final corner and he's going to come under attack by Corey Kobe now. Going down into turn 1. Kobe not going to be able to do anything about it as Javon in front of him continues on the track. Cameron Capone still having that's a lot of right side damage actually. He's missing a whole section of that right side pod. It's still hanging on by a thread. Look at that thing go.
Holy cow, how long is that thing going to hang on there? It looks like maybe a little bit of the G-forces are keeping that thing attached to the corners. Holy cow, I've never seen a side pod tore off like that before. Unbelievable. As now we see Javon still making a mistake. He's back down to the P7 position. A lot of guys here behind him as well. Going to continue on through this S section as well here now into turn 7, 8, 9 complex through the S's. As you see Corey Kobe back there, Brett Haldane, everybody searching right here behind Javon Thompson.
We got a little bit of battle happening here. Steven Ritters, Nicholas Pressey. Nicholas Pressey's going to lose the position to Steven Ritters, and Ritters finds himself on the podium now. He is currently about 5 seconds behind Takeshi Kita as he's coming down the really long back straightaway here as he's going now into the final corners. Heavy braking zone here. Rotors glowing red as the 99 goes through perfectly there and into the final sector of this race course as he's coming onto the front straightaway now.
Yes, he's going to continue to trek down Takeshi Kita. He's just eating away at this lead. It's a 4.4 second gap right now as he's going down, heading towards turn 1 as Hopkins and Takeshi Kita opening a little bit of a gap here as Javon Thompson still kind of holding up the train back there. There's about 5-6 of those guys under a blanket here heading into turn 1. Here it is. Big move. Lock up by Haldane. Here comes Wubker. He's trying to get his recovery train go back again as he's behind Corey Kobe now as we're heading here into turn 3.
Into turn 3 they go, and off of turn 4 now. He might get a little bit of a draft from Corey Kobe in front of him. It does look like it just a little bit as they go into turn 5 now. He's going to look to the inside just a little bit here. He's there. He's got a nose on him. Here he comes to the inside, into 6 and through to 7. Jeff Webker now up to P8.
Wow, he just flew by those boys like they're standing still. Unbelievable speed in that 40 or the 92 of Wubker. As here it is, Steven Dowden mixing up with Brad Haldane as well back here. Corey Kobe. Oh, look at that move there by Steven Dowden. Almost gets in the rear wing there of Haldane. Holy cow, the aggression on the brakes there by SK. Unbelievable. As Corey Kobe's still lurking back here as well. We got a big battle back here.
Big battle back here happening as Brad Haldane holding on to that P9 position currently. He's got a little bit of a run behind him with Steven Downton as they're going into the final corners now. Rotors glowing red for both cars here. Hard on the brakes and into the final section of this road course. Brad Haldane still holding on to that P9. We got a little bit of a battle up here though. Javon Thompson coming under attack by Jeff Wubker.
Yeah, Jeff Wubker looking to the inside into turn one. This might not be a great passing opportunity. Javon locks it up. Wubker's going to make the move. Wubker, he is flying through these boys right now. He's up to P7 by Javon. Unbelievable. Javon, maybe a little bit of a challenge back here to turn two. He's not going to do anything with it. He's not going to take the chance. Oh, Wubker runs wide. Here comes Javon on the exit of 3. Here's set up for turn 4. Does he have an opportunity to make a challenge back?
Almost to the inside of Jeff Wubker. Javon really putting the beans down on track here as Javon now loses a little bit of time to Jeff Wubker. And now it looks like Wubker has gone off in the sunset. Now looking for P6, who is currently 7.5 seconds in front of him. Cameron Capone is that man. Your closest battle on track right now is between Capone and Swindell, who is currently right in front of him. As they go into the longest straightaway of the race course here, the back straightaway. And he gets a little loose here. Does he still have that right side pod damage? It sure looks like it as he now comes into the final sections of this race course.
Yeah, even with the side pod damage, he's checked out from the boys behind him, and he's closed the gap down to Swindell. Oh, lots of wheel spin there sideways. He's going to continue on here. That's a side pod. That's a side pod that won't quit. It's just hanging on by a thread. He's still digging here off of turn 14. He's going to try and run down Swindell. He's closed that gap down. Unbelievable pace that the 7 has, even with the damage here through turn 1. Still closing the gap. Got down to 7/10 behind Swindell.
Yeah, there's a saying that goes with that, Jay. It's, you know, whenever whoever built that forgot to put the quit in it because that thing just ain't giving up. Look, it's still just swinging out right there. And it's going through turn 5 now. And
redneck horsepower.
Yeah, redneck horsepower. That's right. Redneck horsepower. As Cameron Capone still in. This is a sight to see. This you don't see this every day. This is beautiful. This is what we call race art right now. Racing art. This takes skill.
This is unbelievable. It's still dragging the ground. It's still flipping and flying through the air. Oh, man. I love when it goes through the high downforce corners with the opposite turn in. It glues right back up. Then he goes the opposite direction. It goes flying again. But here he is still closing the gap here to Swindell. It's unbelievable. I can't believe the pace of this 7 car. Unbelievable. He's closing up to Swindell. Oh, he's got more wheel spin here. Unbelievable. He's going to go down the back, long back straightaway now as he continues to reel in Swindell. Swindell reeling in Pressy here into turn 12.
All right, now coming into turn 12, Cameron Capone still reeling in the 62 a little bit. He's grabbing a lot of, not a lot, just very little bits of off tracks here and there, getting him a little sideways, coming down the front straightaway now. There he goes again, getting real sideways in the grass, losing a lot of time to Swindell now, coming down the front straightaway. As you can see, Swindell maybe making a move on Nicholas Pressy here. Rotors red hot as he goes through turns 1 and 2. Coming down the second straightaway of this road course. Now coming into turn 3. Another passing opportunity possibly for Richard Swindell as they come off of turn 4 now and go down straightaway 2. 3.
Yeah, it's really impressive to see the rotors glowing on these boys, man. This is great action. They're getting heavy and aggressive on the brakes here early. Unbelievable how cherry red those rotors are. Look at Capone, he's still closing this gap. It's unbelievable. Oh my goodness, he's still digging here heading into turn 2. And Swindell maybe gonna apply the pressure here to Pressy. If he can stay close enough here, we're gonna have some pretty good passing opportunities, especially through the S's. You get a good run through those S's, you'll be able to make a move. Look at how aggressive on the brakes is Capone.
Oh, Pressy's
on
off
track. Oh no, big moves, big change of events here.
Cressy off track. Swindell goes by. Capone now has Swindell in his grasp as they're coming down the very long back straightaway now, downhill into turn 12 as Capone trying to make something happen here. No push to pass for these drivers as that side pod still holding on strong. Oh, he gets real close to the rear bumper. Oh, he gets real loose off of turn 12. And now coming into the final corners, the number 7 of Cameron Capone losing a little bit of time to Swindell now coming down the front straightaway.
Gosh, imagine what Capone could do with a car that was actually put together without any damage. I mean, holy cow, he'd probably be leading this dang thing. He's unbelievably fast. He's still hanging on to it. Is he still running down your right, or I guess that'd be Swindell in P4, running in a top 5 position with the side pod damage that he has. It's unbelievable. Look how aggressive he is on the brakes. This is where he is really making up a lot of his time, getting into the corners, maybe having a little bit of troubles on corner exit with a little bit of that wheel spin that he's had, but unbelievable on the brakes. Here he is as he continues to track down Swindell for that P4 position.
All right, now coming off of turn 5, Cameron Capone coming and still doing a great job with that damaged Indy car. So we'll go back to our closest battle on track. This is Corey Kobe and Brad Haldane now coming into turn 5. Real hard on the braking here as Brad is looking to make a pass now. Oh, as he gets off track just a little bit there. Not a problem. Going through the fast section now. We'll see what Brad can do in the coming corners.
Yeah, Brad Haldane getting real close. Here we are through the S section now. This is going to be a great opportunity if he can get a good run through these S's. Be setting up for that tight left-hander right here. Maybe get real aggressive on the brakes, close a little bit more of that gap. Oh, look at Kobe. Maybe he runs a little wide. Haldane's going to get a massive run here. If he can get a good run through this corner, then it's a long straightaway. An opportunity on that push-up pass to maybe make a move here on Corey Kobe. Looks like Kobe doing a fantastic job making it through that corner. A little bit of wheel spin here by Haldane as he's going to try and get in the toe of Corey Kobe heading for turn 11.
Now coming down into the next corner, Brad Haldane hard on the brakes here. Lots of wheel input for himself. Right back on the gas and still on the gas. Really hard, or really fast left-hander there. Back into the final corner of the racetrack. Coming down the front straightaway now. Jay, we got a little bit of a battle here now for the lead position. Drew Hopkins out front this entire time. Takeshi Kita has been catching him very slowly, but look at this. Steven Ritters now up to P2. Or he's gotten up to the rear bumper of P2, currently P3, as Takeshi Kita applies the pressure to Hopkins, and Ritters applying pressure to Kita.
Yeah, this is going to get wild here. Ritters is just absolutely putting on a blistering pace right now. Had to go to the back of the field, already up to P3 by lap 11. And he is closing this gap down to Takeshi Kita. Takeshi Kita trying to reel in Hopkins. He knows he's got to go. If he's faster than Hopkins, he's got to get by him quick before he loses this position here to Ritters. Here we are, down the long back straightaway. A great opportunity to stay in the toe, get a little bit of a draft, heading down here into turn 11. Maybe make a move heavy on the brakes. Look at Ritters heavy on the brakes. Takeshi's heavy on the brakes as they close a little bit more gap here to Hopkins.
Ooh, a little bit of situation happening here. The 7 is around. He's going to lose some positions here to Jeff Webker. Going back up to the front here to Takeshi Kita. He's got a little bit of a hard charger behind him. Steven Ritters now catching Takeshi. These guys are pretty even on their gaps from first to second to third. But Steven Ritters, he's on the push to pass. Here he comes to the inside of Kita. Now down into turn 3. He's going to make that pass. He's going to make the move. Does Takeshi come back on the inside? No, he doesn't. Steven Ritters up to P2 as he tries to track down Drew Hopkins into turn 5.
Now, I think that's exactly what Ritters wanted. He wanted to get by Takeshi Kita here in the early first couple sectors of this course so he could set something up for that long back straightaways. We're going to be going into the S section next. This is going to be an opportunity just to stay close enough, maybe not be able to make a move, but if he can at least close this gap enough to set something up for that long back straightaway, back on the push to pass to make the move for the lead. As he continues to close this gap, it's down to half a second, 5/10, under 5/10 now, as he gets a great aggression on the brakes there.
Coming into turn 9, or 10, excuse me now, going down the long back straightaway. Let's see if Ritters uses a push to pass here to try to get around Hopkins. It looks like he's not going to, but he is going to get a little bit of that draft. That draft really helping him as he goes down this back straightaway, down into turn 11 now. as the 99 has continued to catch the 15 in the final corners of this racetrack. As you can see, real fast left-hander into a slow right-hander, and down the front straightaway, the 15 gets loose there. Let's see if Ritters uses a little bit of push to pass, and it looks like he does not once again. Going down into turn 1, Steven Ritter still in P2.
Yeah, Ritter is not using the push to pass, but he is still closing this gap here to Hopkins. Maybe put a little bit of pressure on the 15 into a mistake here, as he's going to continue to try and close this gap down here into turn 2. This is going to be an opportunity just to get a little closer, maybe aggressive on the brakes. There it is. Oh my goodness. Ritters is just on the brakes tonight. Holy cow, closes up so much ground. Here he is with a big run here down this straightaway, heading for turn 4. Can he make a move to the inside? He's not close enough to make a little bit of a lunge. He's going to try to maybe set something up for that back straightaway again, falling through this intricate part of this course, through the S section, as well as that little tight turn 9, that big left hand swooping turn. Oh my goodness, look how close he is through the S as he's closing the gap down to Hopkins.
On board now with Ritters as they come through turn 9, and now a little bit of a straightaway here to turn 10. Another opportune time to outbrake the 15, maybe use a little bit of push to pass on this back straightaway, this long back straightaway. As you can see him now get right back to the gas. No push to pass for Ritters as he comes down the back straightaway. Maybe playing with his food a little bit here as he goes down into turn 11. He's still behind Hopkins. He's outbraking him just a little bit here, but Hopkins is getting the great launch off the corner. Real fast left-hander into a little bit of a slower left-hander, and then a real slow right-hander back onto the front straightaway here. As you can see, Hopkins really dominating the latter half of this race course to keep Ritters behind him. But now, down into turn 1, you can see how much time Ritter makes up now on Hopkins. Hopkins goes a little bit wide, but wow, he makes it work. Look at them go. Down into turn 3 now, Ritter still behind Hopkins.
Yeah, he's still trying to find a little bit of a weakness, but the coffee racing machine here, the 15 of Hopkins, doing a fantastic job controlling this race. Maybe a little off track there in the grass. It didn't seem to affect him, though, as he's got to head down here into turn 5. Look how aggressive on the brakes Ritters is. He's just looking at it. He's licking his chops. He wants an opportunity here to make a move here through the S section. Maybe not a passing opportunity. Is see if he can just stay right there in touch with the Hopkins and maybe set some up for that push to pass opportunity down the long back straightaway. There he is, looking to the inside. Not going to make it happen through the S's.
All right, now coming down into turn 9, the 15 gets real wide into the grass there. Doesn't seem to affect him that much, but coming off of turn 9 now, going into a little bit of a straightaway here, and down into turn 10, another passing opportunity possibly for Steven Ritter. Still on board with him as he treks behind the 15, coming down the back straightaway now. He got real close there. Push to pass is active on the 99 as he comes down the back straightaway. Is he going to shove it into the inside here? No, he is not. He's going to play it safe here coming into turn 11 as he's still stuck behind Hopkins, now coming through the final corners of this race course as they go into the real slow right-hander here. Back onto the front straightaway. The 15 goes wide. Another push to pass for Ritters coming down the front straightaway.
Yeah, Ritter's back on the push to pass. Does he make a move in a turn 1? This is going to be a risky little cat and mouse. He's not going to make the move. He thought better of it. But this is great by Hopkins because Ritters is just burning through these push to pass opportunities to try and get by the 15, and he hasn't had to use a single one yet. This is some great racing here by Hopkins, doing everything he needs to do to control the front of this field as Ritters continues to apply the pressure. And Hopkins hasn't made a big mistake yet. Hasn't really had one of these off tracks that's going to lose him a position. He's doing a fantastic job controlling this race as we're going into turn 4 now.
You know, another thing to possibly point out here, Jay, is that Steven Ritters has probably been extremely hard on those alternate tires coming through the field like what he has done. Maybe just a little bit better tire wear by the 15 versus the 99 as they come down into turn 9 now. And maybe that's what Ritters is maybe struggling with a little bit as he has burned up 3 push to passes, and Hopkins and Kita hasn't even hit that button once tonight as they come down into turn 10, excuse me. And look at that, the 99 has another great run. Let's see what he does with it.
Yeah, he didn't use the push to pass this time. He's just going to get in the toe. He was really close this time. This can be a tough move to make down here into turn 11. I don't know if he's going to be close enough. He tries to go to the outside, really aggressive on the brakes. But Hopkins, oh my goodness, he's unwavering. He's not making any mistakes. It's just with all the pressure applied, he's still running a fantastic race as it gets even better launch off of that final corner than Ritter's does. He's going to open this gap up down the front straightaway. Hopkins putting on a drive of a lifetime right now, holding back the man that qualified on pole, that has driven through the field and hasn't made a single mistake to cost him this lead with all that pressure. Unbelievable drive.
Absolutely it is, as they go down into turn 3 now. The 15 still out front. Ritter's chasing him as we are on lap 16 of 50 now. As they come down into turn 5 at the moment. We've had a little bit of happenings out on track now. Steven Doughton going for a little bit of a crash here. Let's see what happened to Steven in the 09 as he's coming off of turn 11. Going into the final corners here. Does a little bit of a spin out there. Keeps it on track. No big deal there. As we go back to the front here, Steven Ritter still stuck behind the 15 of Hopkins. Sticking close here, that's Takeshi Kita. Look at him go. He's still sticking to the rear bumper here. As Ritter's now getting ever more closer to the 15. Let's see what he does here. Going down the back straightaway now to see if he can make a pass on Hopkins.
Yeah, maybe being a little ginger on the push to pass, not wanting to use it here. He's going to try and close this gap. He's just not as close as he's been a couple of those other times and wasn't close enough to make that lunge. He's not going to be close enough again. Hopkins, he's just doing fantastic on corner exit, allowing him to maintain this lead. 16 laps on this set of alternates. When do we see him pit? And here it is. Here it is. Here comes Ritters with the undercut. Look how that pit lane entry is going to be tough all night long. Ritters did a great job getting into pit lane.
Absolutely, he does. We're seeing pit stop cycles now. Richard Swindell skipping pit road. So does Nick Pressey. Jeff Webker stays out. Cameron Capone with that side pod that they forgot to put the quid in. Still sticking out there out on track. That thing flying around as he goes around these corners. He's going to forego another pit stop here. Javon Thompson now in the Honda-powered Indy car. Is he going to come down pit road? He is not. Corey Kobe now back here. Going into turn 11. We've got Steven Ritters hitting back out on the track right now. Corey Kobe again foregoing as he puts on another set of alternates. Interesting.
Yeah, I just noticed that. I was wondering, maybe he's got a little bit different strategy than we thought, because here he is back on the alternates, maybe still in push mode, maybe run those primaries at the end of the race, as he is blended back out here in about P6, just in front of Capone back there, who's still just Chad Drive with the missing side pod. Unbelievable. As Ritters is going to continue to try and close this gap down, maybe closing that gap a little bit, or that's Webker, excuse me, closing the gap down to Pressey there. Different strategies being played out. Maybe we'll see Hopkins and Kita come down pit lane this time by to match the strategy. Doesn't look like it. Well, maybe they're going through turn 11 and 12 right now. We'll see if they make a pit stop.
All right, coming through the final corners now. They forego. Kita also stays out. Richard Swindell now going into turn 11. Let's see what he does here as he comes through 11 into 12. Does he make a pit stop? He does not. Nick Pressey is going to stay out. Jeff Webker as well. Steven Ritters coming down into turn 11 now. Cameron Capone right behind him. As Steven Ritters has already made his pit stop. Let's see what Cameron Capone does here. He's coming down pit road.
There it is. He's going to maybe get some repairs here to that side pod as he's navigating through this tricky pit entrance. I would assume, right, Tom, that he's going to get that side pod fixed. I think that's going to be a recommended guaranteed fix on that number 7. You know how much it's been affecting him in this race. I mean, I think if he gets that side pod fixed, he might just be a rocket ship. He's been so impressive tonight.
Absolutely, he has, and he does. He takes his quick repair on that number 7 McLaren IndyCar. He is taking that quick repair. He's going to come back out with a brand new car. We'll see what Cameron Capone can do here after pit cycles. Currently, your closest battle on track right now, Nick Pressey and Jeff Webker. Drew Hopkins now coming under a little bit of attack by Kita. Nothing too concerning just yet, as this battle still here with Nick Pressey and Jeff Webker is your closest battle on track, now going down into turn 10.
Yeah, Wubker closing this gap to Nick Pressey. He is also on the comeback trail in this race. Had to go to the back with that jump start, and here he is trying to get more of these positions back. This is for a P4 position with Nick Pressey. He's only used one of those pushbacks, still got opportunities. Oh no, your race leader Hopkins makes a mistake on pit entry. The last thing he needed to do here. Unbelievable race-changing moments here for Drew Hopkins.
Let's go back and actually look at this because I feel like there was a lot to talk about here. Just way too hot. Oh my goodness, barely misses that tire barrier right there. Gives a little bit of stop action on the track to make sure he doesn't get a penalty. And Drew Hopkins now making a big mistake coming down to pit road. Steven Ritters makes the pass on him. He is in front of Drew Hopkins, who is now coming off of pit road and back onto the race course. But Steven Ritters now a 6-second gap between himself and Drew Hopkins. What a great undercut by Steven Ritters.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say before we saw that incident there with Hopkins. I was wondering, are we going to see him and Takeshi Kita maybe play the long game here, hit a fuel number, and then maybe throw the primaries on and maybe run a one-stopper? I don't know if that's even possible here at Motegi. It's going to be interesting to see how much further into this run Takeshi Kita goes with this race lead. And can't make a mistake on pit entry. That really affected that 15 of Hopkins, who was leading most of this race. We'll see if Takeshi Kita makes a pit stop this time as he goes down the long back straightaway, headed for turn 11.
Coming down into turn 11 now, a real hard braking zone. You can see those rotors glowing both front and rear there for the number 64 machine as he comes through the final corners. Here comes Kita coming down into pit road. A good entrance to pit road at the moment. The 64 does make it down. Nick Pressey now trying to take lead of the race as he is on. Oh, he's coming down pit road. Oh, so does Jeff Wupker. Oh, Nicholas Pressey, Jeff Wupker, both off here at the entrance of pit road, and the 94 loses a little bit of front wing. Oh my goodness, huge implications at the entrance of pit road tonight. Steven Ritters now passing Takeshi Kita on pit road, and that 99 now safely out front.
Yeah, that undercut for Ritters just absolutely worked to perfection here. He's going to easily get by Takeshi Kita, open up nearly an 8-second gap. Hopkins now back here behind Takeshi Kita. So Takeshi Kita was able to take advantage of that little mistake Hopkins made on pit road and get by him as well. He's going to have a little bit of a gap here to Hopkins. Hopkins going to be on the charge. He's had a fast race car all night long. Let's see if he can rebound here after that mistake and get back by Takeshi Kita.
Takeshi now coming down into turn 5. The 15 looks very fast here as Takeshi holding on with those alternates. Drew Hopkins on the primaries as he grabs a little bit of grass there. Coming through turn 6 and down into turn 7 now as the 15 still stuck behind the 64 of Takeshi, who is currently +8 since the beginning of this race. A great job so far by him as Takeshi on to P2, Drew Hopkins P3, Javon Thompson up to P4, and Richard Swindell rounding out your top 5.
Yeah, so we've completed 20 laps, or we're on lap 20. We're about to complete 20 laps once your race leader goes across the line. Different strategies being played out early. We've seen some mistakes on pit road. Ritter's still on the alternate tires. He started on the alternate, so he's going to have to make that switch over to the primaries at some point. We see Hopkins on the primary. Takita, he also went to the alternates as well on this stint. So all different strategies, open book here with the strategy game here tonight as we see Swindell, Wubker right there, 5-6. Pressey with the damage. He went back down to P7. Here comes Javon Thompson down pit lane now. This will complete your first round of pit stops here for everybody.
Richard Swindell about to go +1 on the leaderboard. So is Jeff Wubker. Oh, Wubker getting real loose off the final corner there. Wubker, what a great run, a great qualifying run that he had tonight. Kind of fell apart at the beginning of this race, jumping the start of the race with the standing starts that we have here with the Nexus Grand Prix Championships. So he finds himself in P5 now, and everybody else around him really surviving on no mistakes. People in front of him, Richard Swindell doing a fantastic job there in P4 as he's now coming down into turn 5.
Yeah, Swindell's had a sneaky good race. I mean, he's just been so consistent. He started moving through the field early as well. He had that floor damage on that initial start to the race. Ever since then, he's just kind of been picking up lap time, running consistent laps, moving through the field as he continues to hold Jeff Lubker at bay here in that P4 position. Everybody's still chasing down your race leader Ritters. It looks like Takeda did cut a little bit of that gap down to 7.7 now. So we'll see what Takeshi Kita can do. He's got a couple laps fresher tires here. Maybe he can close this interval down to Ritters. Maybe Ritters saving a little bit here on this longer run now that he doesn't have to apply the pressure. Takeda did use one of those push to passes, though. He's down to 9. So a lot of time left in this race. We're not even to the halfway point here yet, Tom.
We're going to go into a little bit of a full throttle segment here. If you guys don't know what that is, we're going to crank up the noise here on track for you guys to listen to the cars, as we will be right back with you here soon. right back with you guys here now as we have seen this battle heat up here in the closing laps. 20 laps to go here around the Motegi road course as now Jeff Webker and Richard Swindell, this is your closest battle on track as we have yet to see any pit stops happening, but they will be happening soon as we see these guys switching back to, especially like Steven Ritters and Takeshi Kita up here not taking the primary tires yet. That is going to be happening soon. Cameron Capone now taking the fight to Nicholas Pressey off of turn 2. Now going down into turn 3.
Yeah, Cameron Capone maybe looking to the inside here. Pressey, he's going to make that move. Oh, he's sideways. Oh, big contact. Pressey's broke. Capone's broke. Big damage here. Unbelievable. These guys were doing so well. Here they are with big damage here.
Cameron Capone, he has had issues all race with his car. Now that rear wing dangling there. I think they just forgot to put the quit in this whole car here, Jay, tonight. As he's just going around. That thing's like a parachute right now. Look, oh, I mean, he's still full throttle through these corners and he's holding it together. Impressive.
I mean, yeah, if he could drive without a side pod, I think he could drive without a wing. He's just digging tonight. Yo, look at how sideways he is. Oh man, I love it though. We saw this last night with Salvino in the road series, man. He was having just a tough race. A lot of things were going wrong for him. He just kept digging and fighting. Here's Capone doing the same thing. I love to see it, man. I love the never quit attitude in racing. That's all it takes, man. You just gotta keep fighting, keep digging. You never know what's gonna happen at the end of these.
Absolutely. We still got this battle happening here, though. Richard Swindell and Jeff Webker as they come across the start-finish line. Coming down into turn 1, Jeff Webker having a hard time getting around Richard Swindell here as Webker is currently 9/10 of a second behind Swindell, now coming off of turn 2 and down into turn 3. Cameron Capone coming down pit road now. As you can see, that battered race car's got to put a new rear wing on that thing. Be a perfect time for a pit stop nonetheless. With just about 19 laps to go here around Motegi Racecourse. As he slowly inches down pit road. Let's see if he does take a quick... Oh, he doesn't have another quick repair. As that wing finally falls off there. And there you go. The team puts on a new rear wing for that guy. As let's go back here to Richard Swindell, who has opened up that gap to just about a second now.
Yeah, he is definitely keeping Webker at bay here. Swindell, man, I think he deserves early nomination for driver of the day. Unbelievable drive he's had tonight. Had that early incident on lap 1 restart, and ever since then, just continually, methodically working his way through the field, and he is holding back one of your faster guys in this series, in this race alone off the qualifying and practice speeds. Jeff Webker doing a fantastic job. Maybe pit stops here for your leaders in the next couple laps. I would maybe think run the alternates for another couple laps, get to about 15 laps to go, and then throw on those primaries to end this race. As now Ritter's getting into some lap traffic. Here's Corey Kobe and Brad Haldane up the road from him as he is continuing to put on a blistering pace. Open up a 10.7 second lead over Takeshi Kita. Unbelievable.
A great run he has had so far. Started out this season with a phenomenal comeback at Sebring, coming back to finish on the podium. After a horrible start to that race. He had a pretty bad start to this race too, but now currently leads it as he's coming into turn 9 there, diving a little bit deep on Corey Kobe as they now go down into turn 10. We're going to keep our eyes on this 99, see if he makes a pit stop here soon. He has ran that alternate, I believe, since lap 16. He is currently at lap 16 on these tires, the amount of distance he went last time before switching over. So let's see what Steven Ritters does here going into turn 11. Let's see if he makes a pit stop this time by.
Yeah, here he is through turns 12, and here it is. You called it, Tom. That was perfect time. Oh my goodness, look at Capone. Oh, man, he missed pit road, too. That was a dive bomb and a half right there on a pit entry.
Whoa, what actually happened here?
Yeah, I don't know. We gotta...
Oh, he came off the final corner, looped it. Oh, no, he didn't. He just drove to... I don't know. I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know. That's great action right there. Oh man, all right, here comes Hopkins down pit lane as well. He's gonna get a better entry into pit lane this time by than he did the first time around, as we see, I believe Ritters is going to open up this gap, even with the undercut again. Here he is already off track. He's doing a fantastic job. Absolute blistering pace so far in this race. We'll see as he's now on the primaries, Tom. He's going to make it to the end of the race here on this set of primary black tires.
Absolutely. Takeshi Kita, let's go ahead and pull up that pit strategy once again here. Kita went 19 laps last time on those alternates. I would say that probably, to keep it to that P2 or P3 position, P2 position, probably be a best bet to pit this lap. Put some primaries on there. Try to stop the undercut by Drew Hopkins, as he is currently P5. Jeff Webker, Richard Swindell, P4, P3. As Takeshi Kita now comes down the long back straightaway and down into turn 11. Let's see what he does here.
Yeah, I don't know. I think maybe he goes another 19 laps on this set of alternates, Tom. I mean, if you're gonna maybe chink a challenge to that 99 of Ritters, maybe just do something completely off the rails here. Go complete different strategies. He does not come down pit lane. He's gonna complete another lap here in the lead. I like this though, Tom. The pace that Ritters has, it's gonna be tough to beat him on a heads-up strategy. You might as well just go for some wild card strategy. You never know. We might even catch a caution. I don't know. You never know what's going to happen in these races. So I like it. Let's run long here. Let's just pit last possible minute. Let's see if we can continue to open this gap. Maybe Ritters has some troubles here, and Takeshi looks like he'll be on the good end of that. Is Swindell coming out pit lane?
Swindell now coming down. Webker staying out on track here. Maybe trying to go for a little bit of an overcut here. This Hopkins is now all the way back in turn 11. As he's coming through turns 12, 13, and 14 now. Let's see if he can overtake Richard Swindell. He has already made his pit stop. So Drew Hopkins, and it looks like he is going to be able to pass Richard Swindell. So Richard Swindell drops down to P6. Nick Pressey right behind Drew Hopkins. Is he still missing a front wing? He is! Look at that! This whole time has not come down pit road to fix that front wing.
Yeah, what a Chad drive here by Nicholas Prezi. We've seen that all night long with a few of these guys, man. Just continuing to push on, even with the damage. I like it. He's going to continue to dig here. Still running in that P5 position. I mean, the pit sequences haven't cycled all the way through, so we'll see how that works out for him. But still running some pretty good lap times and running this P5 position. As here we are with Takeshi Kita. Let's see if he pits this time by, or if he continues to just play this alternate strategy. Oh, excuse me, he's in turn. He is on the final straightaway. Here he is coming across the line. He is not going to pit again. He's going to continue to run as we got 15 laps to go here at Motegi Road.
Absolutely. Steven Ritter's now coming through the final corners now in that number 99 as he comes off the final corner and down the front straightaway. Jeff Webker in P3 at the moment. If we look at our pit strategy here, Webker has not pitted just yet. He's going to try to make another pit stop here. Maybe, possibly, maybe not. Drew Hopkins back here has made his final pit stop. He is good to go to the end of the race. Really, who we're looking at now is Kita, Webker, and Pressey. Pressey still out on track here right in front of Richard Swindell. Just about 3.5 seconds in front of him. As he's looking to make his final pit stop as well. He forgoes that opportunity there. Takeshi Kita still out front, 16-second gap there as Ritters has really taken it to Kita. He's already taken off a couple seconds here in that P2 position. But now Kita coming down into turn 10, coming down the long back straightaway. Let's see what he does here in the final corners.
Yeah, he's getting as much tire life out of these alternates as he possibly can. He probably is going to his fuel number if I was to guess at this point. Still running on racetrack, heading down here into turn 11. Go through that little bit of S section here towards the end of the circuit. Let's see if he does make this pit stop. Here, we'll see right here, and there it is. The pit stop for Takeshi Kita. That should cycle Ritters back to the race lead. We'll see if Webker or Pressey, one of those guys, also matches his strategy here and comes down pit lane as well.
All right, Ritters did use a little bit of push to pass going down the back straightaway here. Takeshi Kita now just stopping in his pit box. Here comes Ritters. Ritters takes control of the lead. Once again, the 99 back out front. Webker coming off of turn 12 there as he comes down pit road now. Webker taking his chances here. Coming down pit road, Hopkins now coming down into turn 11. Takeshi Kita back out on the race course. He comes out P2 in front of Hopkins. Webker still coming down pit road. It looks like Hopkins is now coming through the final corner. He's going to look to take over that P3 position as Webker still up in the air, getting some tires. Alternate go on for Jeff Webker as now Drew Hopkins going down into turn 1. Webker coming off of pit road. A big gap that is going to be needed to overcome for Webker as here comes Swindell now. Swindell, he locks up, going into turn 1. Webker back up to the P4 position as Swindell sees his chances of finishing in that P4 dwindle away.
Oh, it's so unfortunate. He had such a great race going too. Had that early incident, and then ran fantastic from then. Makes a little bit of off track here. He's going to lose that position to Webker. He's going to be back down to that P5 position. Now, Webker, 10 seconds behind Hopkins. Can he track him down here for that podium position by the end of the night? Had the fast time here in qualifying, or one of the faster times here in qualifying, and then had that early jump on the initial restart, went to the back, and now he's just been recovering ever since then. 10 seconds behind Hopkins. It'll be interesting as we got 14 laps to go. Can he run him down for that podium position?
Lots to happen here in 14 laps. Steven Ritter's just crossing the line now as we're taking 13 laps to go. As Webker coming into turn 10 now. He's got a little bit of a hard-charging Richard Swindell behind him. Made a little bit of a mistake there in turn 1. He let Webker go by here as the gaps between first, second, and third are really, really stretched out here. As P4 Richard Swindell, or I'm sorry, P5 Richard Swindell, P4 Jeff Webker continue to go at it here. This is your closest battle on track between these two drivers as Webker has taken away that P4 position from Swindell coming off the final corner and coming down the front straightaway.
Yeah, Webker continuing to maybe open this gap just a little bit here to Swindell in the 62. He's going to continue to try and push on here and maybe run it back down as we see Javon hit pit lane as well out of the P6 position. He's going to make his final pit stop of the race. And another thing to note too, though, Tom, is that gap between Ritters and Takita is stretched out by another 3.5 seconds here through this pit sequence. So Ritters doing a fantastic job in that McLaren, opening the gap here to Takeshi Kita. Your last week winner here at Motegi on the oval side of things, is looking to back it up with another great podium finish here tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. A back-to-back podium finish possible for Takeshi tonight as he comes down the back straightaway and down into turn 11. Takeshi Kita, a great run so far. Webker has now got that gap between himself and Richard Swindell up to 1.5 seconds as these guys really coming down to the end of this race. Hopkins on his push to pass now, coming down the back straightaway, trying to gain just a little bit of time. Maybe try to capitalize on a mistake that Takeshi could possibly make. He tries to gain as much time as he can to Kita. Every second counts here when we're racing in the Nexus Grand Prix Championships. Drew Hopkins off the last corner and down the front straightaway now. We've only got just about 12 laps to go here to round out this race.
Yeah, and Hopkins maybe using a lot of these push-to-pass, too, to maintain that gap to Webker behind him. Because Webker, you know he's going to be making one of these late-race charges. Got a little bit fresher tires than Hopkins by a couple laps. So if he wants to push for that podium, right? So, yeah, Hopkins pitted 5 laps ago, and then Webker pitted just 2 laps ago. So it's going to be an opportunity. Maybe Webker push late in this race with 12 laps to go. Can he cut down a second a lap here? If he does that, he'll be there. He'll be right behind Hopkins and have a chance for that podium position by the end of this race, barring any mistakes that any of these drivers make. You don't want to jinx them. I did a lot of that last night in that sports car challenge. Holy cow.
Yeah, actually, you bring up a good point there, Jay, about lap times. Currently, Jeff Webker is a half second faster than Hopkins. So just trying to pump those rookie numbers up a little bit. We had a little bit of an issue here with Cameron Capone. Look at that, coming down into pit road. A lot of damage to that vehicle. Let's go ahead and see what happened to Capone as he was coming into the final sectors of this corner, coming down into turn 11 now as the 7 car of Cameron Capone trying to push it real hard here off of 11. Grabs a lot of that tire barrier under the bridge there as Capone Loses a lot of steering, loses the front wing of that car. He's coming down pit road. He's going to get that thing fixed. Maybe come right back out on pit, onto the race. It looks like he's got that car fixed, but it looks like the driver is out of that vehicle. It looks like he may be done for tonight.
Yeah, what an eventful day here for Capone. Yep, there he is. He's out. He's done. He's had a rough one tonight, man. That was a tough race here for Capone. Really impressed the heck out of me though there at the beginning with that missing side pod. And not only was he missing it, but he was passing people and running extremely quick lap times. So great run there for Cameron Capone. Can't wait to see him back in the next one. See what he can do to maybe get a little bit better result here in the next race. But great job nonetheless for Cameron Capone. As now we're seeing a lot of these boys start to burn through their push to passes here, Tom, towards the end of this race. So what Webker's got 4 left. Hopkins has got the 6 left. Still about a 10-second gap though, so doesn't look like Webker's really cutting into that lead as much as he was just a few laps ago. We'll see how this continues to progress. We got 11 laps to go, and it looks like your leader coming out of turn 14 is going to come get the Dega boys. 10 laps to go here at Motegi Road for Steven Ritters. He's still looking for that first win of the season.
A little bit of an issue here on track with Brad Haldane. Let's go back and look at that real quick. Oh, big damage here for the 39. Let's actually rewind it here just a little bit and see what happened coming off of turn 11. Maybe, no, that's not 11. I'm sorry, that's 6. Yeah, just...
No, it's the same spot as Capone, I believe, right? No, it's not. Never mind. Ignore that.
Yeah. Brad Haldane having a little bit of a really, really difficult race for himself in that number 39, as he's on pit lane now. Look at that, coming right back out on track. He's had a terrible race here tonight, but he is not giving up on that thing. Nicholas Pressey going through almost the same thing that Brad went through here, as he gets a really tight situation there. He keeps it sane, though, keeps it straight, as he now goes down into turn 10. But right now, we've got this gap between Hopkins and Jeff Webker now under 10 seconds.
Yeah, he did cut down another half a second off that lead. Still burning through those push-to-pass. You see him on it now as he's closing that gap. It looks like Takeshi Kita also cut down a little bit of that gap. He's on the push-to-pass as well. Saved them all right here to the end. We'll see how this all progresses. These gaps could come down. Swindell's still staying in touch with Webker, though. He's right there, only about 2.5 seconds, 3 seconds behind. So Swindell's doing a fantastic job. Made a little bit of a mistake. Been able to buckle her back down, get back in his mojo, and continue on here in this race.
Absolutely. Well, we're looking at just about 9 laps to go now here at Motegi Road Course. This is your closest battle on track right now between Richard Swindell and Jeff Webker. Coming down into turn 11 now. Swindell using a little bit of push to pass, going down the back straightaway and into turn 11. Down into turn 12 now, though, Jeff Webker into 13 and 14 off the final corner. So he comes down the front straightaway nice and smooth there. Same thing with Richard Swindell. As they come across the line, let's see what those lap times look like between these two guys. 35.12 for Webker and a 35.93 for Swindell. So Swindell lost just a little over 0.8 of a second that time by to Jeff Webker. Actually, Webker, the fastest car on track right now. P3 and P1 pulling pretty much the same lap times at 135.54. Takeshi Kita 135.74. A little about 0.2 slower than the leader, 0.2 slower than third place right now. But with the 17-second gap, you can afford that with just about 9 laps to go here. As Kita uses a little bit more push to pass coming down the back straightaway. Steven Ritters, though, coming through the final corners, off the final corner, down the front straightaway. Take 8 laps to go here at Motegi.
Yeah, 8 more laps to go for your race leader. It looks like Webker, though, with 9 laps to go, or I guess 8 laps to go for your race leader. He's got it down here now to 8.7 seconds, so he is closing this gap. He is definitely cutting into the gap that Hopkins has. They're on the same straightaway. There it is. You can see them as they're both running down here the long straightaway. This would be an opportunity. Oh, excuse me, that's Corey Kobe. My bad. As they're going to continue on here. He is cutting that gap down, though. It's down to 7.5 seconds now as Wupker's putting together one last late race charge for a podium here at Motegi.
It'd be interesting to see what this 92 can do as he comes across start-finish line. Let's read the lap times. Last time by Drew Hopkins, a 135.73. Jeff Wupker, a 134.90. That time by 0.8 of a second quicker than Drew Hopkins in front of him. Wupker back on the push to pass here as he comes down into turn 3. And trying to make up as much time as he can. We'll get a little bit of lap time history here, as you guys can see on the bottom. Not really that nice to us. But nonetheless, we can go ahead and pull up our last time. There we go. There you go on the left-hand side of your screen there. Wupker dealing with a little bit of lap traffic now with Corey Kobe in front of him. He is one lap down to our leaders. Wupker's got to make quick work of him. Oh, look at that. Corey Kobe, huge amounts of respect there on track to let Jeff Wupker by in that number 92. Hats off, kudos to that man as they come through turns 10 now. And Wupker's got a clean track in front of him on the same straightaway now as Drew Hopkins as they come down into turn 11.
Yeah, it looks like it leveled back out there about 8 seconds, so he's not gaining a whole lot of time. Maybe that little bit of lap traffic there was kind of affecting his race pace there just a little bit. He's trying to get by the 86 of Kobe. But here he is going to maybe put one more charge together here late. We got 7 laps to go in this race as we're continuing on here. Your race leader down there into turn 5 now, continuing on here late in this race. Any more opportunities to make any moves, any mistakes that can be made to decide the podium positions here tonight? It looks like Pressy did recover back up to that P6 position, even with that damage, and he's got a new wing on it, new lease on life. Looking all good here for Nicholas Pressy here.
Yes, Nicholas Pressy kind of had a hard time last night in that Sports Car Challenge race. Coming out here in the IndyCar race, maybe having a little bit of troubles here and there, but nonetheless, that never quit attitude by Nicholas Pressy. He finds himself in that P6 position. Currently 32 seconds behind Richard Swindell, who is in the P5 position, who's coming off of turn 6 down into turn 7. Now, Jeff Wupker, as you can see him right there, you can see Swindell in the background. That gap has increased to just over 5 seconds between himself and Richard Swindell. Drew Hopkins, though, last time by, also had a bad lap. Wupker was 0.3 quicker. Still even having to deal with a little bit of lap traffic. They're still on the same straightaway now. As we'll go back to our tower here. Wupker on his final pass. Push to pass here. Going down into turn 11. Or he may have one more. My bad. My apologies. He's got one more for that 92 machine as he comes down into turn 12. 13, 14. Final corner for himself. And down the front straightaway. Let's read off these lap times once again as Drew Hopkins put down a flyer. A 135.13 as Wupker crosses the line. A 135.03, only a 10th quicker than the 15 car.
Yeah, I think it might be just a little bit too late here for Wupker to close this gap back down to Hopkins for the podium. I don't want to jinx either of these drivers. I don't want to put that sports car race last night with all the jinxing I did there. I don't want any of these guys to have any off tracks here late in this race. They've done a fantastic job. It looks like Wupker now on his final push to pass. That's all she wrote, Captain. He's done for the race. He's got 6 laps to go. No more push to pass available to him. Wow, Hopkins still's got 4 more. Takita's got 5, and then also Ritter's has got the 6. So, I mean, Ritter's already opened up the gap again to Takeshi. He's already got a 13.7 second gap over Takeshi, so he's just absolutely putting down blister lap times as Takeshi's back on the push to pass down the long back straightaway. But your race leader, Ritter's coming to get 5 laps to go here at Motegi.
5 more laps around this race course. As we've got a 6-second gap now between Richard Swindell and Jeff Wupker. A 7-second gap now between Wupker and Hopkins. As Wupker now comes down the back straightaway. He has used up all of his push-to-passes. Swindell on the push-to-pass now as he's coming down the back straightaway. He's got a little bit of lap traffic in front of him. and see if he can make a move down here into turn 11. Is it going to happen? He's going to dive it on deep in there. Corey Kobe giving him plenty of room there to let him go around. Great show of respect there on track. Great job there to both drivers as they come through the final corner now. Swindell coming off the final corner. Let's see what kind of a lap time he could put down here in comparison to the P4 driver of Webker. 136.35, Webker 135.16, and Hopkins a 135.75. That's 6 more tenths that Webker has chiseled away from Drew Hopkins' lead there. Currently 5.8 seconds behind. It's getting close, Jay.
Yeah, I was about to say, I think Hopkins made a little bit of a mistake because Webker has really cut this gap down here. Holy cow. It's almost down to 5 seconds, 5.5 right now. Webker is on an absolute tear as Hopkins may be bleeding some time here. We might have a challenge here for this P3 position here late in this race, as it's down now about 5 seconds. Yeah, this is closing. Hopkins going to continue to try to put these lap times down, not losing time to Webker here. This is unbelievable late race charge here from Webker.
Yeah, real late race charge here as he comes through turn 10 and down the back straightaway to look at turn 11 here. We're going to go and watch Hopkins as he goes through this corner. See if he makes a small mistake of any bit now. No, that was a pretty perfect corner for Drew Hopkins as he comes through 13 and 14 off the final corner and down the front straightaway. These lap times, they're getting pretty close here as he comes across the start-finish line. Jeff Webker, there he is. He's close as he crosses the start-finish line. Drew Hopkins, a 136.96. Jeff Webker, a 134.92. 2 seconds he made up on that lap.
Yeah, he's got to do that again for the next 4 laps to have a chance at Hopkins for that podium position here tonight, as he's still digging. Is down here into turn 2 now. He's going to continue on here through turn 3. Get a good run here down the straightaway. There's a lot of intricate parts of this track where mistakes can be made. He's got it down to 5.5 seconds, 5.6 now, as Hopkins maybe a little better on this middle sector of this racetrack, or he's able to maintain that gap. But then Webker on the back half and the beginning half just really eats at that gap there. 4 laps to go, coming to get 3 laps to go for your race leader. This could get interesting, Tom. We might have a challenge for this podium.
Absolutely, we might have a challenge here as Ritters now comes off the final corner, getting 3 laps to go here. Time running out for Jeff Webker to get to the rear bumper of the 15, Drew Hopkins in P3. As Webker comes around turn 10, down the back straightaway and into turn 11. We're going to watch Drew Hopkins once again here coming through turn 11 here. Once again, a fantastic corner for himself. Webker now coming through 11. Let's see what kind of a corner he has. Same thing out of him. Drew Hopkins now coming off the final corner, coming down the front straightaway. He is not making any mistakes at the moment. That 5.3 second gap between himself and Webker still staying there as Webker comes across the line. Let's look at these lap times here. 134.88 for Hopkins and a 134.92 for Webker. Webker still putting down some great lap times as well as Hopkins, but it's not enough for this time by Webker. Running out of time here, coming down to the closing laps.
Yeah, it gets a lot more challenging here towards the end of the race when your fuel load starts to drop off, your tire wear goes up. I mean, it's a lot easier to make a mistake, a lot harder to get lap time, and I think it's at the point where now he's got it down under 5 seconds, so he's giving it all she got, Captain. He's really digging. He wants to get this podium finish here tonight. He's not going to leave any cards on the table, no stones unturned, as he's got it down to 4.6. He is closing. Can he make this happen? It's going to be one heck of a charge if he can. It'll be an unbelievable storyline if he can make it happen. His opening back up to about 5 seconds again as we're closing in on 2 to go here by the leader as he crosses the line with 2 more circuits around here at Motegi Road.
2 more laps to go, but the eyes are on here. Drew Hopkins, Jeff Webker coming down the back straightaway now. Hopkins coming through turn 11 now. Let's see if he can have another good corner in this hard braking zone. He does a phenomenal job. Here comes Webker now coming through turn 11, having another phenomenal job there through that corner as they come through the final corners now. And And it looks like Wubker's going to really nail it here at the end. Hopkins, oh, he's on the push to pass, baby. That is how he is being able to maintain that gap between himself and Wubker.
Yeah, it's down to 4 seconds now, though, Tom. He lost another second there. Now it's down to 4 seconds here. Even on the push to pass, maybe have a little bit of wheel spin there on the final corner. I don't know what happened there, as it Wubker is digging. I mean, I don't know if there's going to be enough time in it for Wubker, but he's still digging. He's still giving it all she's got. We'll see how this plays out.
Yeah, Wubker a 134.65 last time by. Hopkins a 136.038. So, I mean, another almost second and a half gain there for Wubker. A miracle's got to happen, though, Jay. I mean, he's got just about 4.5 seconds between himself and Hopkins. Hopkins got to make some sort of mistake here for Wubker to get back up to him in these closing laps. As here it is, Steven Ritters off the final corner to take the white flag.
Yeah, here it is, Steven Ritters to take the white flag one more time around here in the Motegi Grand Prix. Steven Ritters down here into turn 1 for the final time. He just ran a perfect race. I mean, hasn't made any mistakes, executed on pit lane, played the strategy game to absolute perfection here tonight, Tom. Ran the double alternates to start this race, which we were a little skeptical about. But he ended up opening up that gap even more to Takeshi Kita as well as Drew Hopkins. Then he goes to the primaries at the end of this race. Really made the tire life work for him here. Heading into turn 4 now for the final time. This has been a fun corner all night long. We've seen these guys go under the bridge. Saw a few mistakes here early in this race. Played into some people's favor. Some people had a little tough go with it there. Here through the S section. This is where Steven Ritter's been so good all night long through this S section. Was able to maintain that gap early in this race when he applied the pressure there to Takeshi Kita as well as Drew Hopkins down here into turn 9 for the final time. This little short shoot, seen a little bit of off tracks there off of turn 9 here tonight, down here into turn 10 for the final time. Ritters, unbelievable drive. He hasn't had a victory yet this season, Tom. We noted his great run that he had there at Sebring. Started at the front of the field, had to go to the back with a little bit of a bad restart, drove back up to a podium position. He was awfully close here at Motegi Road here earlier this season, last week, but he has really definitely figured it out here in this series. Phillip Island was a great race, got bested there by a little bit of strategy there to, it was James Pierce, but here it is, off the final corner. It's going to be Steven Ritters who takes the victory in the Motegi Grand Prix.
Great race win for Steven Ritters. Is now Takeshi Kita going to follow up this race with back-to-back podiums, winning last week and P2 this week, plus 8 since the start of the race. He is the most gained positions out of everybody here tonight. Drew Hopkins now coming through. 13 and 14 off the final corner. He's going to round out your podium here tonight at Motegi Road. Drew Hopkins across the line in P3. Jeff Wubker now coming across the line in P4 after a valiant effort to try to get up to the P3 position. Richard Swindell now coming through 13 and 14 off the final corner. He's going to bring home that number 62 machine. In P5, Nicholas Pressey is currently P6. Javon Thompson, 7th. Corey Kobe coming across the line in P8. And Brad Haldane in P9.
Yeah, that'll wrap up the Motegi Grand Prix. What a great race we saw here tonight. A little bit of strategies. Brad Haldane, little celebratory gravel dance there. That was pretty impressive.
We'll call that the Danica special.
The Danica special. Old Danica Deegan. Oh, dear Lord.
Oh, man. All right, Jay, let's start this off here. We've got some drivers to interview. Let's go ahead and bring down our P3 finisher, which is Drew Hopkins. Drew Hopkins currently not in the chat. Takeshi Kita currently not in the chat. Steven Ritters currently not in the chat, as we will wait for these guys to come in here. In fact, I will shoot them a message real quick.
Yeah, so we can get these boys down here for an interview. Talk about the race a little bit, see how they did. Give us a little bit of fanfare here at the end of this Motegi Grand Prix after what a great race we saw with all the different strategies at play. A lot of different mistakes we saw made, especially on that pit road. I mean, early in this race, that pit road was tricky tonight. These boys really were figuring out how to execute that at the end of the race. I think that's where Ritter's really found the advantage, though. He had the pace, and he was also able to make those moves there on pit road.
Yeah,
Really worked out in
absolutely.
his favor.
Absolutely. Steven Ritter's doing a little bit of a different strategy there. Really did work out for him, though. Look, he finished this race 16.7 seconds ahead of second place Takeshi Kita. Takeshi Kita finishing 14.25 seconds ahead of Drew Hopkins. And Drew Hopkins holding on to that P3 position with a 4.5 second lead over Wubker. So lots of cool stuff happening here as we are waiting for these drivers to get into our waiting room to give them a little bit of an interview. But with that being said, let's go over the results real quick here as we go to our race tonight. Steven Ritter's up on top in the number 99 Team McLaren. Takeshi Kita, number 64, as a privateer, 16 seconds behind him.
Yeah, Drew Hopkins earned P3. Jeff Wubker there with the P4 position. Swindell P5.
We got Nicholas Pressey in the Nissan-powered IndyCars, finishing P6 with Javon Thompson in the Honda HPD, number 93, finishing P7.
Yeah, P8, Corey Kobe. Bad Brad Haldane there in the P9 position. Cameron Capone, P7. And Steven Dowden will round out your field here tonight in P11.
All right. Well, Jay, Drew Hopkins is still not here, which is not a problem. You know what we'll do first? We'll go to Takeshi Kita. Takeshi Kita's in the chat, ready for a interview here. Let's bring him on down. Takeshi, this is Thomas and Jay in the booth. You got a copy?
Hey, how are you guys?
Oh, man, we are great. How are you with that P2 finish after a phenomenal week last week and another phenomenal week this week?
It's great. It's always great to be on the podium. What can I say?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I would be speechless, honestly. I mean, I'm not as good as you, Takeshi, but, if I was to finish on the podium, I would be ecstatic here tonight. But let's talk a little bit about your race. You had a great battle there with Webker, with Hopkins, a little bit of pit strategy happening there. What was your plan going into this race regarding pit strategies?
I knew that with the yellow flag at the beginning, I will have a little bit more fuel to stretch the first pit stop. So I stayed with the alternators and left the primaries to the end, and I think it was better that way.
Absolutely, and it showed on track. Your performance was as good or better than Steven Ritter's in front of you. Unfortunately, that gap between yourself and Steven was a little too big. Was really big, actually. But what did you really need there, Takeshi, to get back up to the rear bumper of Steven and try to go for this win?
More talent. I mean, Steven is a really good driver, so it's really hard to catch him.
Look, I can always appreciate a driver who goes out and says, "Man, I just needed to be better." I could really appreciate that, Takeshi. A great race tonight that you had, coming home in P2, back-to-back podiums here at Motegi. You must be feeling great there with a race win as well as we round out this part of our road or our schedule here in the Pacific. But I'm gonna hand you off here to Jay. Jay, you got anything for Takeshi to round out this broadcast?
Yes, Takeshi, another fantastic race here. You get the win last week. You end up P2 here tonight. Unbelievable little string of race you put together. Is there anybody you want to thank for your performance here tonight?
Well, as always, to the Atomic Racing team, to my buddy Steven and Richard. They always support me, and we always have a good time. So thanks to them.
Absolutely. Well, congratulations on your P2 finish for tonight, Takeshi. You did a great job out there, a great run, and just a huge congratulations, Takeshi. Great run tonight, and we hope to see you in the next one.
Thank you, guys.
All right, that was your P2 finisher for tonight. Let's go ahead and bring down your P3 finisher, who has graced us with his presence. That is Drew Hopkins in the number 15 tonight. Drew, this is Thomas and Jay in the booth. You got a copy?
How are you guys tonight?
Oh, man, we are just phenomenal. We're peachy. We're peachy here, sitting in the booth, watching some great racing out on track. How are you, Drew, coming home in that P3 position?
Oh, good. I wish I could have done more, but I just couldn't get those hard tires switched on, and they were in that middle stint there, and let a little bit too much time go to the guys in front, and couldn't catch it up in the last stint.
So we saw a little bit of pit struggles going into the pits by you, Drew. What was that?
Yeah.
What was pit road like? Because it did look a little sketchy.
Well, considering I forgot to practice that portion of the track, I forgot that I had to pit, so I just forgot to practice that one. So that was really the problem, was the oh shit, there's a chicane before I gotta go into the pit here. That was a surprise. That was shocking.
Oh man, that's great. That's great. Drew, look, you come home P3. Did you feel like that maybe with the little mistakes that you had there, you could have really taken it to Takeshi and Steven there at the end?
Definitely could have taken it to Takeshi. Steven was on another level today, just super consistent, had all of his tires working all the time. I don't think I had a hope of catching him, but I was happy to, a couple of mistakes, hopefully clean it up for the next race, hopefully get a couple more minutes to practice than I did tonight, and, take it to the boys at the front and hopefully move up a couple positions.
Absolutely. A long season in front of us that includes both road courses and ovals. Some challenges ahead of us as well. Congratulations on your P3 run tonight. I'm going to hand you off to Jay here. Jay, what do you got for Drew here?
Yes, Drew, fantastic race yet again here in this season. You've been one of the front runners. It's been fun to watch you with all the great on-track action that you provide. But who do you have to thank for your performance here tonight?
Oh, I gotta thank the boys over at Highline Race Team. They've been working with me to get my setups in tune. I got the couple engineers over there working their butts off to keep everything, all four tires on the road per se, and they've been doing a great job for me.
Absolutely. Well, a huge shout out to those guys. Drew, thank you for coming out here tonight, giving us some great on-track content. Congratulations on your P3, your podium tonight, and we hope to see you in the next one.
Thanks, gents. I will see you next Monday. Hopefully back right here.
All right. I love it. I love it. All right. That was your P2 finisher for tonight. Let's go ahead and bring down your winner, Steven Ritters. Steven, this is Thomas and Jay in the booth. You got a copy?
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can. How you doing?
Pretty good. How about you?
Oh man, we just watched a great race, a dominant performance by yourself there here at the Motegi Road Course. Tell us a little bit about it. We saw a little struggle there at the beginning. You jumped the start, but boy, did that caution come in clutch for yourself. You restart at the back, and did you just make an absolute masterful drive to the front?
Yeah, my secondary clutch, which is my clutch that turns on and off, slipped, and that meant I inched forward just a little bit, enough to get the black flag for the jump start. But then, like you said, yeah, that yellow flag came out. Steven was kind enough to say back end of the line instead of a penalty, and waiting 32 seconds in the pits. So thanks to him for that fair assessment. And yeah, I mean, we had to fight for it. I tried to stay consistent as possible, knowing that this track was very hard to pass on, and just wait for my moment.
Yeah, absolutely. And that moment came. You made some phenomenal passes through the field, got yourself up to the top of the leaderboard with a little bit of pit strategy there as well. Talk to us a little bit about that, the pit strategy. What you did tonight, was that on the table going into this race?
Yeah, I knew that I was planning on doing 3 stints of about 17 laps each. My choice, I knew I was going to go alternate twice in 2 of those stints. Just that would depend on the circumstances. And seeing as Drew was just fast enough to stay in front of me, even I wasted about 3 or 4 push-to-passes trying to pass him. but no luck. So I decided, as soon as my my engineer told me I had the pit window was open, I decided to pit and put on alternates and put in a couple of fast laps to undercut both Drew and Takeshi.
Yeah, absolutely. That was a sight to see for sure. We saw you battling real hard there behind Drew Hopkins, burning up those push to passes. But look, it all worked out for yourself. You found yourself with the undercut, and you never looked back. But with that, congratulations on your race win here tonight, Steven. I'm going to hand you off to Jay here, who may have a few questions for you to round out this interview. Jay, take it away.
Yes, Steven, fantastic. Your first win of the season. We knew it was a matter of time before you finally punched your ticket into victory lane, and here it is tonight. Must feel good. And who do you have to thank for this amazing performance here tonight?
I thank my parents, my sister back home in Montreal, my wife Shannon, and my 2 kids, Lex and Kaya.
Well, yes, a huge shout out to those people. Thank you guys for letting Steven come out here and give us some great on-track content. We actually got Samantha Ritters in the chat, giving you a big congratulations there. A huge turnout here for the Ritters crew. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Steven, once again for coming out here, giving us some great on-track content. And Steven, congratulations on your win, and we hope to see you in the next one.
Cheers, guys.
All right, Jay, that rounds out our race for tonight. A great run by everybody here, and another fantastic race in the books for the Nexus Grand Prix Championships.
Oh, man, round 5 of this fantastic season we've seen so far. We've had, 5 races, 5 different winners. It's unbelievable what we've witnessed here. Or I guess we have 4 different winners. James Pierce did get a couple wins, but nonetheless, it's another great race here. Ritters finally gets that victory that has been eluding him the last few weeks. I feel like he's just been knocking on the door, and he was going to get one of these eventually, and he got her done tonight. It wasn't easy, though. He had that early incident on that restart. Had to go to the back of the field. Him and Wubker both qualified on the front row. Both jumped the start, had to go to the bag. Then we saw Ritters just absolutely put on a tear there, get through the field. And like you said, he had to use a lot of those push and passes to get by Hopkins. Didn't make it happen. End up having to do a little bit of strategy, undercut, go back to the alternates, make the time up, and he ended up opening up a massive gap there at the end. Fantastic job by Takeshi Kita, back-to-back podiums here, and from the win last week at the road side of Motegi, and then here on the oval side, and then here for the P2 on the road side. And then Hopkins finds himself in the podium position as well. Ran a fantastic race. Led a lot of laps early in this race, really set the tone on the pace, but then that little bit of mistake on pit road, I feel like set him back here tonight is so unfortunate. And then a lot of other great runs throughout the field, a little bit of mistakes here, the never give up attitude. Shout out to Capote. I think he deserves a big shout out with the side pod missing off that thing, flopping through the air. He was still passing people, moving through the field with good lap times. That was fun to watch as well.
Absolutely, a lot to unpack here at the Motegi road course. A lot of great action tonight. But, Jay, let's round out this broadcast here tonight. First off, we want to thank everybody who came out and watched this broadcast. Takeshi and Samantha in the chat, thank you guys so much for commenting. It means a lot to us. Everybody who came out here liked, commented, and subscribed, thank you so much. It means a lot to us here at the Dega Boys Broadcasting Network. Look, if you want to become part of the channel, you can. You can become part of our channel by becoming a member. You get lots of cool benefits with that. You get to come into the broadcast booth with Jay and I. If you want to call a race, if you want to come onto the podcast, you can come onto the podcast. Talk a little bit about racing with Jay and I. We love opinions. We absolutely love opinions differing from us because healthy debates is what we love for sure. So if you guys want to be a part of that, go ahead, click the join button from our channel page, choose a tier that works best for you, and come and have some fun with the boys. If you guys want to have some sweet Dega Boys merch, go to our page as well, hit the store tab, and get yourself some sweet swag there for the Dega Boys, like this Big Daddy NASCAR hat. Jay's wearing a sweet Big Daddy IMSA hat. If you guys want a part of that action, go ahead and go on there. All the monies that go into that goes right back into the channel to create more and better content for you guys. We truly appreciate everybody who has already contributed to that. Steven, Downton, Dallas, Seward, Telltaps, Richard Latuke, and Daniel Maddox. Thank you guys so much for your unwavering support of the Dega Boys channel. We truly appreciate it, week in and week out. Great channel members. I'm going to hand it off to Jay here now. Let's talk a little bit about our podcast that we got coming up tomorrow. Maybe a little bit about our watch party. And we cannot miss it, Jay, because it's coming up. What's happening Friday and next week?
Yes, tomorrow we'll be back here on this channel for a full set Half-Bass Podcast, episode 64. Wow, that's crazy to say that. But yes, we'll be here to talk some more racing with you. We had some great races this weekend in the Xfinity Series as well as Formula One. And we had other races as well. But we'll talk about all that. We'll explain to you everything going on, all the drama, all the hot takes that we have to provide for you guys. So if you like racing, you like talking about racing, that's what we're going to do here tomorrow. Have a great time with you guys. And then also preview the races this weekend at Texas Motor Speedway for the NASCAR Series. And then on Friday, mark your calendars. Holy cow. We are going to have our good buddies over there at the King of Camo. I'm so excited. I'm excited to get the King Camo in here with Nate and Ryan. I'm ready to talk some smack. I'm ready to get their heads a little bit of trash talk. I mean, I love those guys. Those guys are so great. So it'll be fun. You get to meet the King Camo and kind of preview the Dega games that we're going to be having all of next week, starting next Monday, actually. I'm going to be flying down to Georgia, meet up with Tom, and we're going to just have a whole week of just games and fun entertainment action. Lots of video content coming out for you guys. You don't want to miss it. A little bit of a friendly competition at King Camo. Hashtag Team Dega Boys. Make sure you guys go tell them that. Go subscribe to their channel and go comment on their next video. Tell them hashtag Team Dega Boys. Tell them that we sent you guys to them. So I'm excited. It's gonna be a great time. We're gonna be doing a little bit of shooting competition, a little bit of go-karting competition. We'll be doing a bunch of little random games at Talladega, and a little podcast there as well. Can't wait to bring that to you during qualifying in the Cup race. We're planning on it. I don't know how it's going to work out yet, but we want to do a podcast during qualifying for the Cup race. So lots of great content coming out. Maybe some stuff that you can find on our Patreon that will not be YouTube friendly, that we'll put it on the Patreon for all of you loyal fans of the Dega Boys community. We love you guys. Can't wait to bring that content to you. And then also one last thing, our watch party for the month of April 28th. Tune into this channel that Sunday for the NASCAR Cup Series at Dover. We're going to be doing that watch party with you guys. It won the poll, and we can't wait to have a great time. Lay back, watch the race, chill, hang out with you guys in the chat, and just kind of watch some NASCAR together. It'll be fun.
Absolutely. A lot to look forward to here. And actually, Jay, we're going to have a little bit of a special announcement tomorrow, aren't we?
Yes, special announcement tomorrow on the podcast retaining to the Backmarkers League, which they have one more race here before we go to Dega. We'll be racing, I believe, at Kansas on Thursday with those boys. So if you're a Backmarkers fan or a part of the Backmarkers League, tune into the podcast tomorrow. We got a little bit of an announcement to make for you guys, and I'm excited to bring that content to you guys. A lot of stuff I've been working on behind the scenes, and I'm excited to. I just love that league. Those guys are great race car drivers. They're cool dudes, and you know, I'm gonna give something back to those guys. So we got a little bit of an announcement for them. So make sure to tune in tomorrow for that.
All right, lots to look forward to here in the coming days, in the coming weeks. It's going to be lots of fun here with the Dega Boys. Thank you, everybody who came out tonight, gave us a view, liked our stream, and gave us a little bit of a comment and subscribe. Thank you guys so much. We love you, and we cannot wait to see all you guys back in the chat. Thank you guys once again. This has been Thomas and Jay in the booth, and we'll see y'all in the next one.